So welcome back. Now that you have installed Visual Studio, it is time now to master the controls. So in this video we are going to have a tour of Visual Studio interface, explore essential drag and drop controls you will use in almost every app. So look at the different properties, the controls that you might use to control the behavior of your application. So let's head over to Visual Studio. So let's explore some of the essential visual controls that you might need to know. So there are dozens and a couple of controls that you might need to explore and understand, but for quick things and for beginners, I'll show you a few of the things that you need to understand to get started. So we shall have to remove this button that we previously had pressed. So I'll click on it and just press delete key on your keyboard and the button shall be removed. So come to the toolbox. I said if you don't get it, you can either get it on view or you just use the Ctrl Alt X and the toolbox will be displayed here. Meanwhile, we are going to use the label. So in your list, look for a control written there, label. So just click on that, and basically a label is simply used to display static text that the user cannot edit directly. So for example, you can put the instructions, you can put a heading, you can put field titles, etc. So if I click into this, you will see that the label is attached on there. You remember how to change these names of the labels. You need to come to properties and all that you can configure. It's just like a setting. The other tool that we need to understand is a TextBox. So within your tools, within your components, look for something that we call TextBox. Click on that and come and click on the interface. So this is sort of a tool that helps you to capture the user input. So it allows the users to type in a text or numerical input. The other one is the button that we have already talked about previously. So in your tools, click on the button and come and click anywhere in the workspace, and there we go, the button is pressed. Then lastly, but not the least, anyway, I can just talk about the checkboxes, radio buttons, and ComboBoxes. Now, a checkbox and a radio button, they are majorly used for selecting options or toggling settings on or off, sort of. So we have the checkbox here. So in checkbox, it means that you're going to have multiple selections. Okay, in checkbox, it means that you're going to have multiple selections. But when it comes to a radio button, it means that you are supposed to select one of them. For example, if you are capturing the gender and you want people to import if either one is a female or a male, then it means that you are going to be using a radio button. And lastly, we are going to look at something to do with ComboBox. ComboBox is a sort of drop-down list. So it gives the users a list of items that they can choose from. So for instance, if I click on let me look for ComboBox in my tools. ComboBox is here. So it's sort of a drop down. So if I click on the workspace, you'll just find out that it is just right here. And to edit the items or to add the items, you'll find a small arrow just right here. So if you click on this small arrow, if you click on the element or on the tool, you will see an arrow on top, and this is the tool. This is the arrow that you're going to click on, and when you click on the items from the displayed text, click on the items at the bottom, you can be able to put all your items just like that. Just type, just say for example, I can just put the academic years or the years of study, year 1, year 2, year 3, sort of. So this is year 4. And finally, if I just put all my items in there, I just can click on OK, and that's all. So these are the different components, and to understand more of these components, I will attach a document that is explaining each of these components and what they do and how you can use them. I will leave a link in the description so that you can check it out. It's for free of charge. All right, so let's understand important control properties. Let's understand important control properties, like the properties of labels, properties of the text box, etc. We shall need to arrange our items properly so that we can give them proper names. And majorly the properties that I want us to focus on, they are essential properties. Number 1, I just want us to understand that every property has, every toolbox or every tool has something that we call name property. So in the name property, majorly this is the internal code identifier. We can take it to be the variable, because this is what we shall be using to capture what actually can happen on that very control. So majorly we have to ensure that we give it a proper naming. So for instance, if I click on this label, I can come to the properties window and I look for something called name. So this name is sort of what happens in the background. It is just within the internal code. Just like you identify, you put the variables within your code. So here I can decide to give it maybe LBL, or maybe name, something like this. So you ensure that you give it a proper naming so that you don't confuse it with it. So if I just go to give the same name for a text box, it means that I'll just use txt. This is not a must, but it is essential for you to actually have a smart and easy to remember stuff. So if I just click on the text box, I can scroll down and look for the name property, and I will change this to txt name. So txt name. So this is what is going to appear within your code, what you're going to use within your code to call these controls or to capture what the user has input. Now that is the name property. So for every feature that you have here, ensure that you just change the name property for it. So there we are. So let me just look at now the text property. Text property is what displays in front of the user. So this is what the user sees. So if I click on the label and I look for the text property, or I look for the text property within my properties. So here is my text property. So if I click on it and I give enter name, this is what the user is going to enter your name. This is what the user is going to be able to see. So press enter and do this is what we have here. So beyond that, just give the text. If you give the text, for example, to the toolbox, it means that is going to act like the placeholder. For instance, if I just put maybe name, it is going to appear there. That is why it is always advisable to just leave it in case you just have a label in there. So for the button, I'm also going to give it the button, for example, submit, and that is it. So I will have to put my button at the last so that I don't confuse my items, because I have to click the button after filling in all the required information. So let's run this and see what actually we have. Knowing how to name and arrange these components correctly saves hours of debugging. So because the more you confuse all these items, put maybe a wrong name or a confusing name, that is the wrong that you're going to take while debugging these errors later in your code. So let's run this and see. I just said we can just click on that button and we wait for it to execute. It might take a couple of seconds to load. So here we are. This is our application so far. So I can come and I type there maybe my name, and I just come and I select maybe some of these items, and on the checkbox I have to select one of these ones, the radio buttons. I have to select one of these ones. I come to select on the drop down. I said on the drop down, this is just sort of the ComboBox. We just put this using ComboBox. If I select, for example, here 2, and I can click on submit. But if you click on submit, remember we just had a button, and this button literally was displaying this before. So for you it might not be displaying anything. So in the succeeding videos we shall see how to configure this button to ensure that it can capture what a user has specifically entered. Thank you for watching.